Hello, it's the Way Show, and welcome. It's another Sunday. My name is Wally, and it's nice to be with you again today. Beautiful day it was today in the city of London. Sunny, summery, and yeah, it went well today. And hopefully the day went well for you, and the week went well for you. So it's the Way Show, like you said, and I've got my man, my partner, and the co-producer of the show, Yomi Yomoguja, right there on the console, making sure everything goes well and that you can see me, you can hear me loud and clear. And yeah, so you know the drill. Like I always say, subscribe to the show, like all our episodes. Tell your families, your friends about us. Tell a friend about the Way Show. That's the drill. You know the drill. So it's so nice for you to join to watch today. So today we're going to be talking mainly football and other sports. So we've got two very interesting gentlemen that will be joining us. Both of them colleagues of ours, myself and Yoni, which obviously we've known them for a long time. One of them is a very interesting guy, a broadcaster, an investor. He's been in the sports business for a while now, especially football media stuff and whatever. He also does a TV show. He also hosts a program on Ben TV. Ben TV, as you know, is one of the biggest African channel on Sky. So he does a regular show with them, and obviously some other stuff, because come from the background of TV presenting. So his name is Chris Chinedu Obukwelu. So Chris is going to be joining me pretty soon, and also we'll have someone who's been here before on the show. We did say we promised you that I was going to be back to talk mostly about um, media entrepreneur and obviously football. Permit me to use that word soccer because where he's actually in Houston, Texas, and over there in the United States they call it soccer for some reason. So Bayonle Arashi is going to be joining up to the show. But first, I've got Chris Obukwelu. Chris, good evening. Nice to have you here on the Way Show.
Let me first of all say congratulations to yourself and not forgetting Yomi. You guys have done what plenty could why not think of doing. I know the truck might be so heavy to start, but then again, when you hit the throttle and it starts moving, you know you are on to that ride that truly belongs. Congratulations on your achievements and why not? I'm truly proud, humbled to be here and delighted in what today unfolds.
Thank you, Chris. It's always a pleasure to talk to you about sports and especially football. I mean, we've had discussion like this for a long time, way back. Right from our humble beginnings in Nigeria, West Africa, up to Ben TV and in London. So Chris is in London, and we're obviously going to be talking about quite a lot today, starting from Nigeria, obviously in Europe and the rest of the world. Chris, to start with, um, Nigerian players. I mean, we've seen a few of them make the transition from, because obviously we're still in the transfer season, which ends in October. And the biggest transfer so far has been that boy um, of Seaman, So he's moved from Lille to Napoli. Um, your take on that movement, and what do we expect from him in Napoli?
I was glad when they told me that he was calling. He was calling in the sense that he has arrived to the world, arrived to perhaps put smiles in the face of so many Nigerians. Um, Victor Osimhen has shown that a star can be born anywhere.
Mm.
You look at a young man who, in his days, when he started from Nigeria, has truly, shown that he has that ability to perform. But then again, did he take the right decisions in taking club? if I not waste the time of talking about Victor Osimhen, right now, whether I would like it or not, Victor Osimhen is the only player who perhaps can lead us to promised land. And the moment the Super Eagles coach begins to realize this, the better for the chances of the Super Eagles to go to other tournaments and perhaps get something out of it. I'm looking at a scenario whereby that the Nigerian coach would work around him in terms of allowing the play to be around Osimhen. Indeed, he's somebody to look out for, but then again, we're talking about Osimhen. Osimhen have broken so many records, even in the friendly which they played. He was scoring goals as if they are playing basketball. So it tells you he has those tactics as a striker. He has what it takes to truly function for Nigeria. His type of play actually reminds me about our own Rashidi Yakini, the man who
Mm,
gave it all, yet was humiliated to die in just a penalty.
mm,
Um, as rightly said, if I could, Osimhen will be the new star for Nigeria, but that is if our coaches could use him rightly. For now, he's playing to where he belongs. I could love to see him in the Premiership where it matters, if we have to say the truth. When you arrive here, it's like the world is seeing you.
yeah.
So for me, I would like to congratulate him on his feat so far, but I know really in his efforts because football is, it's like an art which you truly can't put together until it finishes drying on. Yes,
Mm,
I have to say that Osimhen is a good signing from where he's coming and where he is at right now. We hope that plenty other, grassroots players will understand where he's coming from and follow that route because he himself didn't. I don't want to mention names because I mention names plenty, perhaps might not like the type of jumps I'm going to give to them. But the truth about it is that you see a grassroots player, what you want him to do, he wants to come to the Premiership, he wants to play for Man United, he wants immediately. But some of these
mm,
players, some of these clubs, I have to be honest, don't truly have that time to develop you. If we have to truly confess. You understand? Nigerian terms,
mm,
most Nigerians that have done well, we know them that they tend to go through clubs in Germany, clubs in Poland, Portugal. These are some of the clubs that could help you out. Develop into that player which you truly want to become. You understand? But some of them they're already looking for the money. Some will tell you they want to go to Man City and play immediately. Where are they now? Anyway, let's rest it there.
I'm so glad you brought up the issue of some want to go to Man City and play now. Obviously, the case and scenario would be someone like Kelechi Iheanacho. So much promise, so much promise, so much was actually expected of it. Made that move to Man City, and today he is in Leicester, but is still struggling to even get games under his belt in Leicester City. Whereas his other colleague, also in Leicester, Ndidi, is like, without Ndidi, there's no Leicester. I mean, Brendan Rodgers has now decided to convert him into a central defender, obviously because he's got injury problems and obviously suspension. So how did it go wrong for Kelechi Iheanacho? Like you said, it should have been a steady, gradual phasing into European football, but instead he jumped the gun. Maybe not his fault. It could be probably the agent's fault. So where do you think it went wrong for?
Kelechi Iheanacho was, in my opinion, was a man who went for the money and not the talent.
Mm,
A budding talent, if you ask me, a man who by now could have been the hottest cake Nigeria will be having. But you see, this is why I don't like family. Although people will tell you family have to take decisions now in terms
mm,
of what a player does. But
mhm,
then again, some family don't really care about your future. They just want the naira and kobo, the pounds and the dollars that is within. The truth is bitter, but when you say it, it's going to be clear so that some others who are listening will know the truth and know the route to follow. Kelechi went to City. Perhaps City could have been the place to show a player who is truly, truly good. But in my opinion, he went too early. I could have loved Kelechi to start from, the development side. People will say, why not? Let him can play. He's a big boy. He can play. He's been this, he's been that. Where's Kelechi? It's not that he can't be there, but we're in the haste to become what we are not. Some of these players, you see them, they want to become this and become that. It takes this thing takes time. You understand? And then again, you want to say that age is not on their side. Then I'll ask you, can I have a look at their passport? Well, I know you don't want us to go there.
No, I don't want us to. I don't want us to go there because obviously, if we go there, there'll be. I don't want to open the can of worms, so to say.
But you know what I'm talking about. But to be honest, in my opinion, I keep saying, because plenty of people will have their own opinion about it. In my opinion, I think Kelechi followed the wrong route. My young man could have easily become a superstar. Something that he'll be bigger than right now. Kelechi right now is suffering from club. I mean, most times I see Kelechi on the bench than playing. Even sometimes he's not even listed. You want to imagine that players will be playing on a good day and Kelechi is on the and he is even sometimes even invited to the national team. That's why I have my problems with some of the players they call up for the national team. National team should be players who have played good at least 50% of games, 60% of games for their clubs. Not bench warmers. What are you calling bench warmers to do? Instead of calling European bench warmers, can we use the league boys? Let those who play week in, week out in the league, let them be the one taking the trail. But that's it enough. Why do we prefer rusty international players than fit local players? That's why most Nigerians will tell you that they prefer foreign rights than local rights.
Could it also be? I'm so glad you mentioned that. Could it also be that whatever at any point in time, whatever manager, give them whatever names, manager, head coach, technical advisor that would go in the Nigerian Super Eagles at that time are not exactly what they should be. They're not ready to develop the raw talents back in the local league. They always want to look for the established one, in quotes now. If no matter if they're actually rotting the bench or probably not even playing, or they've been loaned to probably a third division team where no one ever knows. Do you think it's kind of like laziness on their part? Not wanting to actually coach instead of managing.
Will I say that those who are in the hands of affairs are confused themselves? You invite a coach to coach a national team, and part of the obligation of the coaches is to watch, train, and develop this football. They don't do 10% of that and they still get salary. You must be joking. When you give me a contract, everything is put on the table. It's what I want you to achieve, and you must get it. If you don't, your contract will be terminated. But who cares anyway? When there are money rolling into their pockets and when they have their bank, when they can fly to Europe whenever they like, who questions them? Let's take example. Let's say, for example, if you remember the days of, I don't want to keep hitting on Westerhoff because it's like a music that has been played over and over again. Let me look for another person who again has a time. Let's use Stephen Kessie. When Stephen Ketching came on board, Stephen Ketching perhaps had, I was a very good friend, because of health problem and all of that. Perhaps he didn't go to almost all the local games, but he tried. He tried to see how he can use some of the local players. When the current Super Eagles coach came in, we were assured, Mbazo promised that all is clear. He will go to at least 90% of the game. Lagos, Kano, Anambra, please be ready. Your coach has arrived. He will come to see you guys. How many has he seen? How many local players can we count on? That's why the Nigerian League is porous. Because when you bring up a local player who comes to play in the international body, friendly matches, national World Cup, people begin to ask, where has he been? So Nigeria has this type of talent. Then you begin to see agents begin to descend down to Abuja, to your local area, to see players. But because they don't see these people, they say you guys don't have players anymore. So there's nobody that is interested in what you're doing as a local team. Moreover, not having the league on TV doesn't help.
Mm.
Only the last season or the last two seasons of Nigerian League, have you heard that at least 2 or 3 players died because of medical equipment? Who does that?
Mm.
Then you want to talk about how teams are treated in Nigeria. So many things are wrong. So many things are wrong. But until we find a leader who can take the bull by the horn and show passion, then the Nigerian football perhaps will go back to 1994, 96 type of play. Now
Chris, can
we
I
have, in my opinion, caricature.
can I ask you this question, Chris? Would you, in your opinion, obviously with your experience of following the local league, the Super Eagles and all, would you say you are an advocate of having a foreign technical advisor over a local lad who obviously is come from the league, he's been abroad to coach, he knows the culture, and I'm sorry, abroad to play, he knows the culture of Nigeria, he knows the politics, so to say, how to play it in Nigeria. Would you prefer that? Would you say you're an advocate of that, or you're an advocate of someone coming from abroad who perhaps have coached 1 or 2 um, modest club in Europe to come to Nigeria to now handle the affairs of the national team?
When we stand this way, when we put this question in this ramification, we sound like racist.
Hmm.
What we should be talking about is asking the Nigerian Football Federation, who does not even know when they were founded. What we should be asking them is, what is your yardstick of choosing coaches? Let's know your yardstick of choosing coaches. Then we can compare and contrast. If it's the home coach that is better, or if it is the man coming from abroad that is better.
Hmm.
Where we compare and contrast, the man from abroad is the one that is better. Why don't you give him the job? Why don't the local lad work hard and make sure that this route, or the yardstick, which the NFF has said, this is how we want it, this is what you have to attain before you get it. Why don't you attain that height? There's
But
nothing.
Chris, one of the reasons why I asked that question was I've had a few of people in Nigeria say, why would Nigeria always go for mediocre uh, European coaches that people never heard of? They might have had stellar performances as a player, again in modest clubs, you know. So, but when it comes to Nigeria, that's when you hear about them. An example, glaring example, Clemens Westerhoff. He did wonders. He came from unknown, and there's always this school of thought that I've always believed that Westerhoff is who he is today because of Nigeria. Bonfre Joe, who Westerhoff also brought in to Nigeria. No one really knew about him. He is what he is today because of Nigeria. But Betty Votes, who was like a known face in Germany, he played in the World Cup, his coach, he came to Nigeria, it didn't work out at all. So is it an issue of the people at the helm of affairs of running football in Nigeria um, don't really know what to go for, or do they just want to go for any cheap person that is available instead of going for a coach that is proven? Or is it that the proven coaches outside there or managers outside there are wary of coming to Nigeria to work? Obviously, going by precedence of what has happened to other foreign coaches that have been to Nigeria.
A typical Nigerian will tell you that if I can borrow that word, would be too much familiarity. That is the problem with the Nigerian Football Federation. They don't believe in their own. That's one thing. And secondly, they tend to give us feed the media with lies. And some of the media don't go back checking what is what.
Mm.
So everybody just goes on with it. No wonder somebody can wake up one day and tell me that Joseph Yobo is now the assistant coach of the Super Eagles. Yes, he was a very good player. He was a class player. He has played for good clubs. He has international as a player. But sorry, where does this young man actually stand when it comes to coaching? That's why I keep telling you, the Nigerian Football Federation needs to bring out a yardstick so that we all follow that route. So that whenever you're coming in, we know what you have. Did the Nigerian Football Federation actually drop Imama for this player for Yobo? If Yobo wants to be a coach, I know those who have their certificates. Let's not go there because I know that he doesn't have anything in terms of coaching. He will be starting from the scratch. But if you truly want to help Joseph Yobo, why don't you throw him to under 17? He wants to be a coach. Let him be the head coach of the under 17, the Eagles. Let him feel a bit of a bit of pressure. You throw him where he's going to be comfortable. Plus, he's not even going to learn anything, in my opinion. He's the same go in, go out. How did he even become the coach? Who discussed such? These guys they just sit down in one room, think that they can take decisions for 1 million plus people, fans in Nigeria, and it's okay with them. These guys don't care. Don't get me wrong. You're both very good lads. You know, very good player. Any day, anytime, I'll feature him as a good player. Defense, he's strong. But as a coach, you need to go and learn. Coach is not a day job. That's the thing I keep telling you. People are too in a haste.
Mhm.
They want to get that. I think if you ask me, his passion will be. Sorry, which are Munike? You want us to begin to mention names who are supposed to be there? What people should be doing now is to understudy this young man, to understanding the coach of the Nigerian team. Let him just, because his time is over anyway. I think he has given us his best. In my opinion, I think perhaps after COVID he should go.
What's that? Is that Garrett Raw?
After COVID, he should, in my opinion, after COVID he should go. He has given us his best. Unfortunately, I think they will give him a new contract if he he's going to be there for another 4 years. suffering us again.
So again,
It doesn't
you can't
look
break,
well
you can't
that
break
we're going
that
to win the
contract.
World Cup. It doesn't look well that the Nations Cup has will return with something. Quote me. It's not that he's not a good coach, but I think we are seeing his best. We need someone else
Chris,
to come and turn things around.
Hold on to that thought, yeah? And we're going on a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be joined by Bayonle. So the question I'm going to be asking you would be, if we let Raw go now and we break the contract, okay, so would I not now be sending another bad vibe to any potential foreign technical advisor to join Nigeria? So hold that thought there. When we come back, we'll pick you up on that. So we're just going to go on a quick break. Thank you. Hello there, and welcome back to the show. We're just going to be joined by Bayonle Arashi at some point pretty soon. So I was just saying to Chris before we went on that short break. Obviously, Chris has his own opinion about the present technical advisor of Nigeria. Bayonle, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm sure you've been following our interesting conversation, and you got Chris Obukwelu, your dear friend here with us today.
Oh my God, I've been listening to Chris. I've been watching. Nothing has changed. Good to see you, bro. How you been?
Nothing has changed.
You see, one thing I'm glad with is there are people you see live and you are truly happy. We remember how you all started from the grassroots, but look at you now. You are now a bigger boy.
Just like you, man. Thank you, bro.
Nice to see you, and actually, I hear that you're now into refereeing, and you're doing very well, scouting and all of that. Truly speaking, you've done very well, and the representation you are giving us in America is really appreciated. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you for all the advice, and thank you for having me today.
Okay, so I brought back. We've succeeded in bringing back two old friends to the show, which is a good one. So the question before we went on the break, which obviously I threw to Chris, and Bayonle at some point you're going to contribute to this, is now, Chris, if we decide to not tear that contract we've got with get abroad, and we say, you know what, that's it, bye bye, go, there you go, pay you off. Would that not be sending a bad vibe to any potential person that will probably want to manage Nigerian future, especially when that person is coming from abroad?
Perhaps you didn't catch me right. I was not suggesting that they take it off him already, but I was already regretting that he has already been signed on.
You're in the contract.
That's my belief, because these things shouldn't be taken seriously. This young man has done well for us. I mean, he has shown us what he can do, gotten us bronze at the World Cup. Wasn't what I expected. I don't see him doing better. We need a new head. We need somebody who can change things. And again, our players, they don't help issues because most of them are bench warmers. So it's a problem. We need people who will sincerely pick players for us. When he came in, he was all right. But I think at this point, he's beginning to be shaken. And it's somebody like Clement Westerhoff. Not because he won laurels or because Westerhoff had one thing in mind. He tells you, this is what I want for my players, he's going for it. You don't want it? He said, me now see the president. That's how it works with him. So because these people call the NFF, they will want to play around and use their own diplomatic thing to work on you. You tell them no. Because the truth about it is that when you start failing, they are the same people that will run it and laugh at you. So we need someone who's strong. What I keep lamenting on is, one, give us a yardstick of choosing players and of choosing coaches. Then coaches should give us a yardstick of choosing players. When Westerhoff was still there, he made sure that if you are not playing in a first division, you are not coming into the Super Eagles, whether you like it or not. Be scoring 100 goals in your 15 divisions, you will not get into that team. You have to play in top league for you to aim a place to him. But some things I want to say, you might get some queries. So let me hold it.
Let me just let you know that at the end of the day, on this show, we work for ourselves. So I'm not expecting any query from no one. Finally,
I'm with you, sir.
you've heard what Chris has got to say. Are we
I
really
had.
losing that discipline, so to say? Are we missing out of one getting the right players to play for the Super Eagles and obviously all our national teams? Two, are we missing out of getting a top coach or the not a top coach, the right coach or the right technical advisor or the right manager, call it whatever name? Are we missing out of all that? Your take, please.
Thank you very much for having me one more time. Whenever I listen to Chris, like I said, it's been a long time, but I miss listening to your analysis. I know he's very passionate about Nigeria, just like millions of us across the world. But the truth is, I don't think the approach of not sending Raw away and all of that can really help. Because I think to an extent, over the years, he has actually brought in some changes. The area that I think I agree with Chris 100% is the fact that our football federation leadership, and you remember I discussed it with you when I was on your show a few weeks ago. I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan because we do not have the people that truly, truly love the game and truly want changes at that secretariat. We don't have them. We have them outside of the country. We have them in there, but they never made it there. We knew how much the mathematician himself, Shegun Odegbami, how much he wanted to become the NFF president. But we all knew the reason why he probably didn't make it there. He doesn't have the money. He doesn't have the political godfatherism. But he has the passion, which I think is the number one thing that anyone needs to lead in any endeavor in life. The passion to do the thing and really to really bring things back the way they were. As for what he said about Westerhoff, well, for me, I'm someone that doesn't like to really dwell on what has happened. But the truth of the matter is, Westerhoff was not also like a top notch like that. He achieved for us, right? He achieved, but his record was matched by one of his players, Stephen Keshi, right? And this man has also done the same thing. So maybe that is actually not the problem. The problem was probably one of the things I mentioned the last time. How do we have a player evolve from when they are from grassroots to when they go play on the 17 to when they go play on the 20 and then to the Super Eagles? We all know that we don't have that system that makes our player work. Number one, because we cheat when it comes to age. That is a very, very big problem on its own. And most of our leaders just want to win tournaments so that when the next election year comes, they can be able to say, okay, I did this, I did this. So I think the general problem is for us to look inward for the leadership that we have to really, really, really attack the problem, which is for us to find a way to develop our players. I mean, look at what Gerard Roy is doing. I'm not a fan of that particular one. Personally, looking for Nigerian born players overseas. Well, I have a son here now. So imagine if he becomes 14, 15-year-old, I should start canvassing for him to play for Nigeria. No, it shouldn't be based on that. It should be based on, okay, this guy truly have talent. He can play and he choose Nigeria. We don't have to go and keep begging players to come play for Nigeria. Nigeria is a nation of 200 million people right now, not official, right? It's 180 million officially. But we can always have in any age category 24-man list that should be able to win any championship if we do the right thing. So to answer your question in short form, I don't think we're losing out if either we have Gernot Raw or not. But I think we should look at a system that works like every other sensible nation across the world.
Chris, the issue of our present technical advisor, or head coach, or manager, or whatever name you want to call him, going about sourcing for Nigerian players that are born abroad. Obviously, on the advice of the NFF, because NFF actually tried it with Tammy Abraham with Chelsea. The guy said, "Well, no, I ain't gonna do that." Saka is a new boy, Bukayo Saka, that plays for Arsenal. He's now the toast of the town. Everyone wants him now to play for Nigeria. These kind of players, I mean, these kind of boys, um, it, they don't actually have the culture, the mentality. They don't even know. They probably don't even know what it is to be a Nigerian. I'm sorry to say, not because
I agree with you.
they don't know, but because they didn't grow up in Nigeria, they don't know the culture. There's a whole lot of difference between the culture in Nigeria and obviously culture here. And these players are already playing for big clubs. So whether you like it or not, they don't want a situation where we need to play for the national team to now get, bigger contract or what have you. They're already settled, you know. So do you think it's a right choice for the NFF, for ROA, to go about scouring, every nook and crannies of the world, looking for players from Nigerian
Players.
See,
descent?
this was the discussion I had with this was years back between myself, Mikel Obi, and his fellow rest in perfect peace, Shoaib Model. We were actually in Chelsea Stadium. We were seated somewhere on a Tuesday, I think, if my brain serves me right. And we had a discussion. What we should understand is that look at let me bring it back to now. Now I don't want to say what we discussed there because I don't want to get them involved. But let me say bringing it back right now. Someone who is the president of the Nigerian Football Federation left everything he's doing. Everything. Remember, he's supposed to be very busy, making sure there's grassroots in Nigeria, making sure that the stadiums are all in good shape, which is not.
Yeah.
His interest is to come over to the United Kingdom
And start scouting for
or
players.
perhaps wherever, but outside Nigeria to come back for a player. I keep telling you guys, these people don't know their role.
They don't.
They don't. When I talk about them, you guys will say, "Oh, you're a bit biased." I'm not biased. I just tell you people pump and play. I
The way
don't.
it
I
is.
just some of the journalists in Nigeria try to as much as possible. Some I say, try as much as possible to cut off to their nonsense. I won't because I don't care. What we care about is the football in Nigeria. Those who love football in Nigeria know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the brand envelope, if it's still going on. We're not talking about if somebody wants a position and so he's going to
That's
write a
not
very
gonna
good
stop.
article because of the president. I don't want to use the F word, but right now, that's what I feel like saying. If you don't know your role, sit down in your office, read your role. If there's anyone that is meant to be looking after players, searching for players and all of that, Janet Roy to have perhaps
Scouts.
even an unknown agent who he talks
And
to.
we've got the technical department in the
You know
NFF.
what I mean? What is Laloko? What is he even doing in his office? I've never even seen him for how many years now? I thought to see him every time coming to the UK. Oh, Chris, I came to see this guy and see how he's doing. I just came to say hello to him.
Why do we still even have the kind of Laluku still working in football? You should sit down and be advising at his
No,
age now.
I'm using him because he's the one that is still there. Who again will I trust?
You need to know how old he is now. Football is not
Someone
it's
like
not
you would go for the job and they will look with your intelligence. You go back there and you tell them, listen, I think I want this role. Naturally, they will think you're president.
they will, yeah. That's what they will
Because
do.
one, they feel, where is he coming from? He won't fit in. This job is not for you. Now let me
And he
give you,
hasn't got a godfather.
let me give you one just a bite of something. My good friend Benedict Akwebu, you know him very well. Played the under 17, name it. He played almost all the national teams
Very good.
for Nigeria. This
Great
young
striker.
man went down to Nigeria and said, okay, I want to help. Like, who will I help right now? He went back to help Iwanyan.
I know the story.
And all the money, almost all the money he had, went into bid trying to help these guys out. Why? Because they feel, what's this guy coming here to do?
They feel entitled.
They don't understand it. There's no passion for it. Someone the other day called me and said, Uncle, why is it that you can't come to your state, Anambra, to come and help out? I mean, we need your type of knowledge. My type of knowledge? These guys don't even think I exist. My type of person can't sit and understand what they're doing. It's not because I'm special, but because they don't think I have anything to offer. But they that have been sitting down there thinking they have something to offer, the place is actually in crumbles. Going back to what you just asked, we need to understand that the young man who is now our NFL president, it is what Nigeria will call money misrule.
Just Bayonle, if there's anything I like Chris for, it's like he always say it as it is.
He doesn't care.
No holds back. Bayonle, you've always, obviously, when we had you the last time on the show, you were also point blank. You said what you felt about the way football is being run in Nigeria is totally absolute rubbish. We might get some stuff that says here and there, second position in the CAF Nations Cup. On the 17 Falcons and what have you. But at the end of the day, it's all about football development. Football, when you're there at the FA, you develop football. England, the last time they won anything substantial was in 1966.
That's the truth.
And they still have a vibrant FA, commercially vibrant. Vibrant. They got loads of English players now that are. What's the steps? What are the steps that you think we should take to actually? I don't want us to be at par with England, but that's not going to happen. As far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna be as optimistic as possible, patriotic as possible.
It's not going to happen.
It's just a reality. So what can we do to be at par with South Africa to make football viable economically, run it as a business, and obviously have a league that is as beautiful as it is?
I don't want to cut you. I get that question, and I think we already discussed this. One of them is what we're doing right now. For us to have folks like us in a roundtable like this talking about it, but not by blaming, right? But by actually getting involved, right? That's what I think is one of the first thing we have to do. Though Chris already said that he doesn't feel he will ever want to have anything to do with them. But I still feel, for him in particular, and for your likes, for me, we still have to find a way to get involved in our football. Because if we keep saying the likes of all of them that are there now don't know what they're doing, which is the truth. The NPFL, like you were even not sure what they were called last time when we talked.
Yeah. They keep changing.
The NFF itself, we don't even have a proper structured league. I mean, that alone is a headache. I would not be crazy to say I want to buy a license to play in any division in Nigeria, because ask yourself, what do you get? You don't get nothing if you play a league. The only thing you get is a license for the players that play that league, and maybe when you want to sell them to another club, you wouldn't have to go through all the challenges of trying to find a clearance and all of that. And these guys use this for business. So there is no system. That is one of the things that our leadership have to do first. Like, okay, if you are playing amateur 3, for example, what happens to players that succeed at that level, or to the team that succeed? The Premier League, that's a disaster on its own. I told you last time, you cannot find a real 20-year-old in Nigerian professional football league. You cannot, quote me. They are all old men, They are not giving these kids opportunity to develop. There is no developmental programs there. Football academy owners are making effort these days, and if you look at the academies that are actually succeeding, the academies that are either being bankrolled by politicians or ex-banker or someone that has the money that can really put in the people that really have the passion. I'm not, of course, I'm one of them, and of course, if you bankroll me, I will do it as well. But the truth is, we need to invest in the right people, in the right system. I don't want us to look at Germany and all of those successful FA. You already mentioned it. South Africa is the first for us to start with. Look at the PSL. PSL is worth $10 million. PSL. Nigeria is not even worth $500,000. Nigerian Premier League is not even worth that amount. PSL,
Wow.
this country got independence, was it not in 1996? And the football is that huge. Tanzania, they have their Premier League on Super Sport. Zambia, they have their Premier League on Super Sport. Nigeria contract was cancelled last year. So even if our league starts, which I don't think it has, because I'm not even paying attention to them. And one of the things that will really make you angry is Google it now when you finish on YouTube. Google Nigerian Premier League highlights. I'm sure the latest highlights you will see is probably something in 2018 or the likes. What are we doing? So the first thing is have a proper system. Then let the right people. I'm one of them. I already said I'm not. I don't believe in complaining and all. Let us do something. And someday people will realize, as evolution has happened in many other spheres in life, that we need this thing. Because I told you last time, apart from Islam and Christianity, that is the third religion we have in Nigeria. When Nigeria is playing football, you need to see. You just need to see how it is done there. So if we are ready to put heads together, have a proper system, structure our league properly, give our kids an opportunity to play. I told you over here, 5-year-old have a league they play every weekend. 5-year-olds up to U20s, they have a league. We need something like that. It could be at academy level, it could be governed, it could be administered by the state association, or even if the NFF wants to do it, let them do it. Chris said it now. What business does the FA chairman, the number one, looking for overseas passing for a player? For heaven's sake, it is madness. It is madness. We have kids that can play in Nigeria. Look at I don't know if you watch Brighton match today. Look at that young 19-year-old that played right back for them.
Tariq Lamptey.
Tyree Lamptey. We have millions of that kind of person in Nigeria. But this boy, just now before I came on here, I was replying messages. I want to play. There's no academy in Nigeria. There's no place to join. It is there. Football that we used to watch then back when we were in secondary school, Principal Cup is there. GTB made effort to start it back a few years ago, but they could not continue again. So it's a huge headache. But like I said, we need to have a proper infrastructure. We need to have the right leadership, and then we'll start picking up from there, hopefully.
Let me also come in here, Bayonle. Sorry.
Sorry, Chris, sorry, before you just go on, I'm sorry to cut you short. Just a quick comment from one of our people watching us. It says the Nigerian football system is absolutely poor, and it doesn't even seem to be ready to improve. I'm sorry again, Chris, to cut you short, but before we go right ahead, let's just give them credit where it's due. Okay, at least we've got Nike designing some wicked. All right, both of you calm down. Both of you calm down. I'm just gonna show our viewers.
It's not just to celebrate.
What those look like? The kids, what they look like. Yomi, if you can please just. Yeah, so we see that we see an agbada in Nike colors and Nigerian colors.
Agbada now has a cap where is that what it is?
A hood cover.
A hood. Agbada now has a hood.
Guys, and we see another one. Obviously, model there by Samuel Chukwueze.
Well, seriously speaking, listen. This jersey that they are rolling out. This one is nice. You can see that the color is the one that the Everton player is former, or I don't know, whichever one you want to call. Let him come up from there and choose another club so that he can play and represent us nicely. This clothes he's wearing is nice, it's good. But the one you showed before now, we have only one green. But Nike, this one, they keep changing the green. Let them tell us exactly what it is. If they don't understand our color, we tell them exactly what our color looks like.
Green, white,
in our
green.
color, you will see lemon. In our color, you will when the green becomes lemon color. Don't have one. Our green is green, white, green.
Chris,
They can't do.
Whatever pattern you want to bring, whatever you want to do, it's beautiful.
Why?
But when you begin to change green to lemon, tomorrow night, before you know it, they will turn it to red. What is your problem? It's just a jest. It doesn't want to celebrate us. So don't deceive us into a color. In the next 10 years, these kids will think that lemon is green. No, it's green, white, green, not like green, lemon, green, green. No, please. That's not what we're doing to get people.
That's not
And for the contract, I keep saying, what is the contract with Nike? Nobody has said anything. They came here, signed contract under closed doors. No, I haven't read, I haven't seen anything at
only in Nigeria. Only in Nigeria. Yeah.
Guys, this is not a problem. This is not Nike's problem. This is a problem with the leadership of the NFF and obviously the marketing and sponsorship department of the NFF, if they have one. So but at the end of the day, we've got a new justice coming up, and obviously both of you have given your verdict on it. So Bayonle, what's your verdict? I know you've already showed it, but I would just like you to comment on this new Super Eagles colors.
Chris said it already. I'm not interested in any of this. This is not what we need. Our color, like you said, is simple: green, white, green. If you're going to do anything for us, any design, let it be around that color. You cannot do all this nonsense with England, with Argentina. You cannot do all this with them. Green, give us a green, white, green jersey. Put whatever design you want to put on it. This is not what plays football. We're not celebrities. We want the boys to play football. That's what we want. Yeah, he's branding, like somebody said now. But you have to. What are you branding? The players are our brand. That's our brand. The players are the brand we have. Apart from him that is on the screen right now, Chukwueze that is playing, and the one that just signed for Napoli. Who else is playing top flight football in Europe for Nigeria? None. And we think this is something that we can sell. I'm not one of the, you will never see me share one of this nonsense. I'm sorry I call it that. I'm not going to share. I don't have to celebrate this type of mediocrity. Let us celebrate our football. Let us work on how our football will be better. Nigeria should not be where we are in Africa or even in the world. We should be number one in Africa.
Did I hear somebody rejoicing that we are now top 30 because we're 29 and people are already rejoicing? Can somebody tell them that we are number 5 at some point?
In the world.
We are number 5.
In the world. Yes, we were number 5 in the world at some point in the world. But I mean, and that's what we're talking about. And we have these players. That is actually the most painful part. The players are there to be developed. Before I joined the interview, I heard you talking about Gennett Raw, not watching local matches. How is he going to watch? Where is the match? Which match is he going to watch?
Probably
which
one
match?
at the stadium or Samuel Owemudia Stadium.
In what stadium? Do you see our stadium that we play games with? Thank God for Lagos State government that has 2 modern stadium, which is not even natural gas anyway, but at least they have something. How many stadiums do we have in Nigeria that are properly run? We built the Abuja Stadium so beautiful, played some great friendly matches, and after that, we left it just like that. We are not a serious people. We are not.
The good news is that the federal government has now considered that stadium to Dangote to do. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe at the end of it. Maybe at the end of the day, Dangote will start producing cement or sugar
about it, it's
from
not
that place.
About contracting Dangote. Nigerians, and I don't want to lay this on the NFF, but the truth about it is that Nigerian fans, NFF does not understand what maintenance culture means. It's not to build a beautiful stadium. After 10 years, what is happening? You have it's called maintenance culture.
But that will be under the sports ministry, though.
People will be there cleaning it every day. It becomes a job.
Under the sports ministry, because the sports ministry actually, this is under the purview, to look after these stadiums or stadiums, whatever you want to call it. It will not be the NFF in this case. And,
he said it. He said it's not blaming it on the NFF, and that system of what we call leadership. It's about leadership at every level, right? If the Ministry of Sport is functioning, there is a lot that can be done with that. I just said it now. we don't even have recreational areas or sites or field where young boys play football. I own a football academy in Nigeria. I'm not sure about it. We have been looking for stadium place to train 3 times in 1 year, simply because when we start training here, they will say they've sold it, they want to build gas station there, what they call a petrol station in Nigeria, or they want to build a church there. We forgot how we ever got to that position that Chris mentioned earlier. How we got to number 5.
Bayonle, let me also say this, because plenty of people have also asked me, why is it that you stopped bringing players from Africa to Europe and all of that? Let's be sure of this. You would specify to this, because as much as we can say that Nigeria have good talent, we have good players in Nigeria. Some of these players, truly speaking, don't want to play football.
Yeah.
Immediately that flight lands wherever it's meant to land, they forget the word football.
Well, what brought them there?
What comes to brain? New car, new house, new chain. Mate, I didn't bring you here for all of this.
No.
We came to play football. Whenever you succeed, you do whatever you want to do. But right now, I want to play football, right? So you find out at time, and after, even the waterfall is like you're signing you have a passport in your hand, you're giving a player to a club. The next phone call you receive is, oh, where are you guys? Because I have a passport of this guy already.
Yeah.
Then you begin to wonder, how many passports does this person possess?
Yeah.
So of being embarrassed, of being,
shocked,
I struggle to find a word. I have drew back so that I don't lose my head and I don't become hypertensive.
Let me give you an answer for that particular one. I think it's about mentorship. Most of these guys, like I know, came from a very, 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 very poor home. Let's just use it that way. And many of them don't have anyone that mentored them up to that level where that opportunity came. And that was why I keep mentioning, and I mention again now, that if there was an infrastructure, like, okay, when you're 5, when you're 10, this is where you should be playing. Some of these things will have been taught. They will be aware that, okay, when I get to this, that was why I wrote a book with all this things you're saying, because these kids don't know anything. They just feel, okay, like you said, look at Kelechi Iheanacho's story. That was that's the most recent of one of the unfortunate stars that we lost. I heard him said it earlier that probably right now he should be one of the top 3 Nigerian players in Europe. He's not even in top 15 now. I don't think so, because he's not. Leicester is playing now. Maybe the game just ended. He's not even. He was on the bench. And what happened? That was because of his first contract. He chose Manchester City because of the big money. When you probably started with Ajax Amsterdam or something, or even Southampton in the Premier League. I mean, look at Osimhen. 1 year in 3 clubs, and right now he's playing with Napoli. At least Napoli is in top 20 club in Europe as of today. He would have done that too, but nobody was interested in his career. Everybody was the money. It was the money. So mentoring at a very young age is very, very key to helping these kids.
So Leicester won 4-2. They beat Burnley 4-2. Iheanacho didn't feature at all. He sat on the bench all through the game. So where does he go from here? Now that we're talking about Iheanacho, where does he go from here? If you can't play in Man City, you can't play in Leicester City. Would he now be Iman's agent?
Let's not even play with this type of topic, or because we try to fashion them well. Listen, some of these players, they get an agent. So okay, let me use you, Wole. Yeah, you're an African. Despite you might be British, if you know what I mean. Just because of the color of your skin and you're an agent, some of the players will feel you can't do what the other person with the other color can do for them. They don't understand it. Now, when I like to go to Nigerian to take Nigerian language. When the grass has matured, they begin to like, where do we go from here? By then, your agent has gone. But the man, people like us will still stay with you and perhaps give you some other advice Others don't have that type of patience with you.
They don't.
And they don't understand it. That's why you will see some of the African agents don't hold to these big names. It's only when they are doing badly, when they're no longer they're scrambling about, then they begin to look for African agents. Where are they? The stupid ones. Our mentality is so bad. The way we think about things is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
You understand? The way we think about, okay, let me say, I don't want to call names. There is this player. He's a non-player. He still plays for the Super Eagles. There's this player. I was telling him, come this way, you go through my agent and you'll be fine. If he didn't communicate to me, he started with another person, with another problem. It's fine, no problem. I wish you well. Then things begin to go rough. He's not finding his feet. And he came back to me. Oh, please, can we help out? You want to become a superstar, you think it's only this type of image that can lead you there. But you don't know what you're doing, mate.
Many of them don't.
You understand? You don't know what you're doing. Let's go back to Kelechi. I don't want to beat up, keep talking about this guy. What I'm interested in all honesty, is that we should tell our players, if you can't play well, if you can't represent your club side, at least if you don't play first half or second half,
there should be no chance
for you. You're not playing on it. With that will ginger them to, okay, you know what? I'm not going to sit on the bench.
There should be no chance.
If you don't want me, offload me.
That's it.
But because we still they sit on the bench for 90 minutes and they come to Nigeria and they feel like they're superstars. Sorry, what is superstar? They're nothing.
That's what South Africa,
football,
South Africa started beating us in the last few years. South Africa started beating Super Eagles. Tanzania started playing draw against us. Countries that we should be trashing 4-0, 5-0. I mean, that easy. But hey, like you said, it is what it is. That's where we are right now.
So Bayonle, as it is now, because at the end of the day, if we are going for competitions, okay, these guys are still going to be the ones that are going to be called in, and obviously coming to show their big monies and do whatever they want to do. So, and I asked Chris this question when we first started. We've got a local league, and we've got a local league that's populated with quite a lot of players, talented, whatever you want to call them, 20s, over 20s, whatever you want to call them. But when you have a technical advisor, coach, manager, head coach, whatever you want to call it, that's coming, that's been given an ultimatum by the NFF, oh, you need to win this, if not, we're not, whatever. So they don't have any choice but to call these boys to come in and play.
Yes.
Is there a way out of all this nonsense?
Well, I think it just have to be included in their contract. If contract is solid enough, we would have our terms clearly spelled out. Like, okay, this is my expectation, and this is what I expect of you as well.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Let everybody do its own part. But if there is no strong contractual agreement, you knew before Genotro signed the last contract, he renewed. There was a lot of going back and forth. We're going to give him, we will not give him. But like he said, which is the problem? When do we start showing that openness at every level? Like, okay, this is the terms of his contract. Most of the coaches that are signed in normal world, in normal client, you can go and see their contract because these guys are public servants. You can be able to see stuff about them. So, but for General, we don't know what is in his contract, but we know that one of the things they probably agreed on is that he will be watching maybe 2 professional league matches in a month or maybe in a year. We don't know because nobody told us and nobody showed us anything. So this is actually one of the ways that this can be resolved. If there can be a clearly spelled contract, like, okay, this is your part and this is mine. And if you don't do it, everybody goes its way. Football coaching in particular is about results. If you're not getting the results, you have to go. Some coaches in the Premier League is just 2 games now. They are already worried because if you play 2 2, 3, 4, 5 matches in the EPL and you lost all of it, trust me, they will throw you out. Even if you're the coach of Fulham and you lose maybe 6 matches back to back, you'll be fired. Nobody cares about that. It's about result. It's about result. It's about what's going to come to the club. So that's just the way it is. It's business.
Guys, I want to ask this question now before we're coasting on now to finish line. It's about the Nigerian Premier League. Okay, so most of the clubs in the Premier League are either owned by governments, state governments, who obviously use them for political reasons, or money bags, who also probably use them for whatever reasons they've got. And as it is, it's not really growing. Bayonle, you mentioned Tanzania and is it Zambian league?
Zambia, PSL, they are all being
shown on Super Sports.
All of it.
On Super Sports. Nigerian League was on Super Sports for some time, and obviously was cancelled.
The contract.
So how do we improve this? Do you belong to that school of thought that government should just hand off football, in Nigeria and let it be made a business venture, where you obviously would invest your money and you reap your profit, just like it is now, even in South Africa, because most of the clubs are not. There's hardly any clubs in South Africa that belongs to the government. No. They're either owned by companies or by individuals that obviously own companies. So, what do you think is the way forward for Nigerian Football League? Bayonle, let me start with you, then I'll round up with Chris.
The way forward, simple. Government at our own level right now cannot totally hands off. At our level right now, they cannot totally hands off, because even if you're passionate about it, if you love the game, but you don't have the cash, you just mentioned they handed over the National Stadium Abuja to Dangote. That's because Dangote is a big brand, is a billionaire. But in Nigeria, we have them too, but not many of them understand the game or are willing to take that risk. So what they can do is to actually privatize, is make it open, appoint a CEO, appoint a football person to run most of these clubs. That is, for us at our own level right now, that is the way for us to start. Appoint somebody that is not a doctor to come and run football. Maybe a lawyer might be able to do it because he knows some law, but at least somebody that is a football person, let them come and appoint a CEO over all these football clubs. Let them have their own home grounds. Let the home ground be very, very stable. For a team should be able to come from Ibadan to go and win in Anambra, or should be able to win in Kano. But in Nigeria, I'm telling you today, you cannot do that. The worst result you will get is a draw. And that draw, you might not leave that stadium very healthy, So those two areas, if we can fix them, then I think we are going to begin to be taken serious. That's
Chris.
You don't give this precedence to a private body, not because the Nigerian private body might not want it, but the private body will ask you, what does he get from it? You want to tell him to bring his 50 million or 300 million into football. In the next 2-3 years, what is he going to get from it? He's a businessman, He's not there for jokes. But because there's nothing to really offer, that's why the Nigerian Football Federation can't approach. You understand? The only man who came forward, in terms of my good friend, what's his name now, from Anambra State, he knows where it is. He came to West Ham to partner, and see all these things. If it's not well stationed, you're just wasting your time. You understand? So the only way, to be sincere, is that you will have to leave it in the hands of the government, because that is the only thing that they understand. Because the Nigerian government brings out the money and the money goes back to them. Apart from that, it doesn't work. The Nigerian government doesn't ask if the money is well spent or it's not well spent. It does bring. We like to bring, we don't like to return. And there's hunger in town.
Yeah.
Someone like the president of Nigeria now If we tell him halfback, which one? He doesn't know his right and his left. The people of Nigeria are hungry. He's not even saying any word. It's tiring. A man who has eaten is a man who will think about football. Let's start with that. Yeah. Then secondly, if you want to talk about business people coming into football, are you ready to give back? What are we giving back? Football is not on TV. Football, we don't have football stadiums, as we have said. We don't have the fans coming in. There's no football generation in terms of the clothes we wear, the jerseys. We don't understand football administration. We are a bit greedy, but we love the football. If I have to leave anything right now, my last word will be, if you love the game, let the game be.
Let the game be.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
One sentence from the two of you before we leave. One sentence from the two of you. Dangote, Aliko Dangote buying Arsenal Football Club. Good for him. Good for Arsenal. Good for Nigeria. Yes or no? Chris, I know you can hear me, Chris.
Good for
I know
him.
you can hear. Don't pretend
to.
you can't hear me.
I'm trying to.
Good for him.
Don't pretend you can't hear. Good for him. Is he good for Arsenal? Is he good for Nigeria?
Good for him.
Should he be investing his money in a club like Arsenal while clubs in Africa is probably yearning for that kind of investment?
I think I will go with Bayonle answer. Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. That's all.
Let's just go with that. Good for him.
Okay, let's just go with that. Good for him. Okay. Thank you, boys, for coming on this show. It's always a pleasure to have you two. You know what? I think we should do this some other time again. I mean, 90 minutes is just not enough to talk about Nigerian football, not to talk about adding European football or the world football. It's not enough. But I sincerely want to thank you two for coming into the show. We need to do this again pretty soon.
Thank you.
And
thank you so
we
much.
will arrange it.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here as always. I know you've been dragging me. Chris, are you coming? Are you sure you're coming, Chris? Yes, I will be here. I told you I will be here. You guys are doing great. And why not? I will tune in anytime, any day to watch this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Bayonle. And massive thank you for coming all the way from Houston, Texas.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
And you too. So, well, it's been another interesting episode today. I want to say before I go, thank you to everyone that's contributed to the show today. Your comments, Sam Sylvester as usual, Adama Onwa, Dion, there is Osei and Open Soccer Trials. Thank you so much, Doreen. Everyone that's contributed to the show, commented on what you have to say today. Thank you so much. It's been roller coaster of a day today. I mean, that's everything from Chris Obukwelu and also Bayonle Arashi. I think we should do this again, because it's really very interesting. So much to talk about, especially in the world of football in Nigeria. Espasa says, hello, Espasa. Thank you for joining. I'm afraid this is where we draw the curtains for today. And hopefully next week we will be here on the Way Show. Please don't forget to subscribe to the show. Tell somebody to tell somebody, tell a family to tell a family, tell a friend to tell a friend. We'll be here next week, and hopefully we'll bring you something more exciting. Thank you. Have a nice week.